regarding comments made by Jaylen Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Is he, in fact, the best two-way player in the NBA right now?
Is he a better two-way player than Wemby?
No.
Is he a better two-way player than Giannis?
No, obviously not.
Jaylen Brown been the best two-way player for a couple seasons now.
Okay,
he might have Giannis.
No, he doesn't.
We need to define terms.
Oh man,
what's a two-way player? What's a two-way player?
And talk about you can be a better two-way player and not be better than somebody else as well. Like he's not better than Jokic, but he's a better.
He's not a better two-way player than Giannis, though. I mean, we can.
But that's why we need to define terms. What's the two?
Like, is he a better? He's not a better offensive player than Giannis. We know that. But then now you're saying, like, does he elevate his team defense better than Giannis? Well, the answer is no. He doesn't. Like, factually, does not.
But hold up, though.
He's a better.
Let's define the terms. How Mars is saying.
He's not.
Can we get a satisfactory? But before we get to him and Giannis or him and whoever else, can we define the term? What is a two-way player?
A two-way player is a player who, on both sides of the basketball, is a plus more than a minus. He gives me more than less on both sides of the basketball. He's a damn good defender. He's not a detriment to us on offense. He's a damn good passer. He gives me everything that's necessary in order for us to win on both offense and defense.
A two-way player is a hooper. A two-way player is a basketball player. A two-way player is somebody that goes out there and plays basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know what a two-way player is. A two-way player is somebody that does their job and doesn't take.
But if you're saying Jaylen Brown's been the best two-way player in basketball for a couple years,
sure,
has Jaylen Brown been the best basketball player?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, y'all like Ron said, like Ron said, Morris, and I know you understand this already.
That's a very direct question. Has he been the best basketball player in the game?
Morris asked me the question. Let me answer Morris.
Please.
Morris, you know what I mean by that, and I know that you know what I mean by that.
I don't.
I understand. I don't understand.
Speaking to this mic.
I don't know what you mean by that.
And Morris, I understand why you asked that question. I appreciate that question, Morris. But as Ron said, you can be better. You can be a better two-way player, and there could still be somebody out there that's technically better than you because they might be so well on this side of the court.
Okay, so an exception.
Now, but with that being said, though, Morris, with that being said, Morris, I wish there was a lot more Jaylen Browns and a less more of them dudes out there that y'all love so much.
What dudes?
Jaylen Brown?
What dudes?
Is Jaylen Brown?
You know what I'm talking about, Ron.
Okay,
we don't know who you're talking about. You know
them dudes. You know them dudes that just be posted up on defense, watching, doing this shit, acting like they want to help and doing that, and then on the offensive side of the court, be dancing all in the videos and coming alive and shit.
All of a sudden, act like they got life on the offensive end, but when defense come around, they act like they can't move.
Right. You know exactly.
Who are you referring to?
I'm referring to all them dudes that aren't Jaylen Brown.
I see Oxing standing on his nuts today.
But
I mean, there's a million of them. There's a million. I'm supposed to sit here and make a list.
Let's stay right here, Ox.
Let's make lists on this show. Absolutely.
Because again, you're talking about basketball. Is Jaylen Brown the best hooper in the game?
Today, absolutely.
Today, in 2022, 2025-26, is Jaylen Brown the best hooper in the game?
Absolutely, 100%, no doubt about it.
And what is a hooper exactly? So people understand exactly what a hooper is. What is a hooper?
It doesn't exist again.
What's a hooper? Is
what is a hooper?
A hooper is a guy that we don't have to talk about. We don't have to designate. You know how sometimes we got to sit here and talk about it like, oh well, offensively he did this. Oh well, defensively we can't just talk about basketball. Jaylen Brown, one of them dudes. Jaylen Brown, Joker is fantastic basketball player, amazing basketball.
I ain't say basketball player, Ox. I said hooper.
I'm talking about chill. I'm talking about guys that we can just talk about hoop. We can just talk about basketball without having to do all the other shit. Absolutely.
And Joker,
absolutely.
Jokic is a basketball player.
Like I told y'all last week. Today,
offensive player.
Today, Jaylen Brown's playing better than Giannis. Today, Jaylen Brown's better than Giannis. Today,
it's not.
What? This minute.
You ain't see what he did to your team.
Giannis just had.
He is not.
I saw that. That's what's up. That's what's up.
No, he isn't.
Stop.
Jaylen Brown stopped the mud hole in this too, though,
flowers without going over.
Yeah, to be fair, it's a low bar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who ain't stomped? Who else? Everybody stomped the mud hole. Oh, you see what Austin Reeves did to us, man?
Except the Rockets, yeah. Except the Rockets. Yeah.
But what that's all I'm saying. And obviously, I'm not trying to change nobody's mind. I'm just saying that's just how I feel about Jaylen Brown. But
I don't really know how you feel because I don't understand the definitions.
I've been felt this way.
We've heard two different definitions so far. We've heard two.
I wouldn't expect you to understand the definition, because I know
as a two-way player,
you have the ability to transport this part of the game and pretend like that's everything, and so that's okay.
I don't know what that means. I'm asking why is he a better defensive player than Giannis?
As a right quick swiper, because I just hold that. We're gonna get right into that next. I want to set some clear boundaries. As a two-way player, it means that you are at least bare minimum good on both sides of basketball.
A plus on both.
You don't got to be great. You don't got to be elite. You don't got to be top 5. Bare minimum, you are good, and that's above average. Not an average defender. You
two-way player.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
Jaylen Brown.
I don't know if I've ever thought about Cade as a two-way player. I've never looked at Cade and said you're a two-way player.
Ron,
I'm not saying that he's not. I'm not saying that he's not. I just have never.
Sure.
Is his defense that good?
Well, see, that's the thing, Ron.
He's definitely helping the Pistons.
Yes,
he's definitely not
bare
hurting.
minimum.
So,
like just because
bare minimum.
He ain't a sore. No, he's not a sore, Ron. But
he's the highest minute player on the number 2 defense in the NBA. And you can watch him. He can guard multiple positions. He can help side rim protect. He plays passing lanes. Good physical size at his position. Positional size. Yeah, I would think Cade would have to be a two-way player.
Yeah.
Is Kevin Durant a two-way player?
Of course.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just because you're not an all-league defender does not mean that you don't play on both sides of the basketball, Ron. It does not mean that. Just because I'm not an all-pro, just because I'm not an all-league defender does not mean that I don't play defense. Just because I'm not an all-NBA player does not mean that I'm not a good offensive player. That does not mean.
Can you be a two-way player if your team hides you on the defensive end? If they switch you off of guys on the if they take you out of the game and
Are you asking about Shea?
Yes, he's asking about Shea, obviously.
Well, first and foremost,
I'm asking about everybody.
First and foremost,
yeah, but did you have a player in mind when you was asking that question?
He 100% was asking about Shea. Let's be honest. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, so you not standing on business today? You be the main one talk about standing.
I don't understand. I'm tiptoeing around all these
subjects. Questions.
Did you get castrated this weekend?
Can I ask you a
Do
question?
you not have no nuts to stand on?
What's wrong with y'all? Can I just ask questions?
I will say Shea did get subbed out after being hunted for 5 minutes straight. Like I'm not like that is what happens.
Now
that is what happened.
Now to be
do
fair,
I think Shea's a two-way player for his level of player? Yes. But do I view Shea as like, oh yeah, look at him, all defensive caliber defender? No. But if you're asking just not bleeding value, yes, I think Shea, by Ron's definition of positive, yeah, I think Shea's a two-way player.
Sure. And to
y'all
also
been gassing that SGA defense for a minute because he get a couple weak side blocks.
Well, he had a better defensive
season.
First few weeks of the season, respect Shea's defense.
He was on ball a little bit, but when I say that Anthony Edwards is a better defender than Shea, Mars and the rest of the Martians in the chat, oh my God, Ant is so bad off the ball. Like, bro, who can't? First off, they ask Ant to guard the ball regularly. So that is his duty on that Minnesota team for the most part. He guards the ball regularly. So why would I be judging him of what he does off ball? And I now watch Anthony Edwards games regularly to see if he is in fact bleeding so much value off the ball. He doesn't. I'm watching every single Anthony Edwards game. Literally. I don't see it. It's just a narrative.
Ant's possession to possession value isn't that high. That's all I said. The last time you spoke about this, when you was in my comments, in my chat, when I was saying Kevin Durant's defense this year, all I said was Ant's possession to possession value is not that high. But in high leverage moments, he can play elite level defense, which is extremely valuable. I actually barely brought up the off-ball stuff this year. I just said possession.
I'm talking more so.
But you said Martians. You said my name.
Yes, Martians. Yes.
Yeah. So you said Mars and
one of your critique. But your.
So I just want to make sure I'm going to speak for myself. I'm going to speak for myself. That's why I said possession to possession.
Your possession to possession critique is about Ant doing what, not being what? Because I've heard you say this.
My biggest critique of him is that he's one of the worst screen navigators in the league, and that's on ball. So actually, once again, you're wrong. Because my biggest critique of him has been
because you've regularly said he's bad off the ball. I've literally
my biggest critique of him this season, like I just answered the question, my biggest critique of him this season has been his screen navigation, where I said he's one of the worst in the NBA. So that's what my biggest.
Do you fight that real talk? Because I was in the building on Saturday night. He be chilling off ball.
He's not one of the worst.
He is chilling.
Like he's not
one of the worst. Is also,
like I watch Anthony Edwards.
They be dragging the Ant.
He's straight chilling off the basketball.
My fault. Yeah, he's not Trae Young. I didn't. Okay. Caveat. Amongst the players in the comparison,
you're the one that always says words are words.
Yes, I'm making sure. Yeah, okay. Let's be explicitly clear. Amongst the players within this realm, I'm not comparing him to Trae Young.
Nope.
Anyone who's asked to guard the ball, wherever, Anthony Edwards is one of the worst screen navigators. That's my critique of Anthony Edwards. Off the ball, I don't think he's providing high level value. Do I think he's bleeding a ton of value? But I don't think he's providing a ton of value off the ball either. So when I look at his possession to possession value, yes, I don't view Ant in that higher tier. When the question that you're alluding to was Cade, Shea, and Ant. And I said, on a possession to possession basis, I would have Ant as the worst of the three. But in terms of physical capability and high leverage moments, I would have him as the best of the three. That's still my opinion right now. I think he's the most physically capable. I think in a high leverage situation, I trust him the most defensively. Over the course of a 48-minute game in which they're all playing 35 minutes, his possession to possession value, I think, is the lowest on defense.
Well, I will say, to defend SGA a little bit, last year he had a much better defensive year than he's having this year. We are, what is this? How many games have we played now? 36. So we're almost halfway through the season, and his perimeter defense has across the board been pretty bad to mid for most of the year. So
pretty bad.
Yeah, it's been bad. The grade wise.
He was guarding the first couple of weeks.
Yeah,
but so was Jokic, to be fair.
Last year, I think
everyone come in with that sense of urgency.
I think last year for the whole season, because obviously, my partner, he put together all the MVP stuff for everybody. He brought all the isolation stats for Shea. When you did attack him, he was like doing phenomenal last season. This year on the other end, he's having a lot of issues. And so OKC fans, like yesterday, they'll say that because he had 4 fouls, that's why the situation happened. But also what's happening too is they did this last year, but I think OKC had a little bit more mysticism to them. When they play versus good teams now, what teams are doing is they're bringing up SGA into every ball screen they have, because what they're trying to do is not just get SGA to the front. They're literally running like circles around the court to try to prevent SGA from being the direct defender on the on-ball player or keeping him out of a pick and roll, because obviously they got Dort, Caruso, J-Dub, and a host of other players, Cason Wallace and Chet. So they're trying to keep him out of that. The problem is they're now bleeding points like off the secondary actions by trying to be overprotective of SGA. Yep. And then what happened is, the reason why I said the last 5 minutes yesterday on Twitter, they were scoring off the possessions of trying to overprotect for Shea, because they were now over leveraged on one side of the floor. And then when Shea did get the primary responsibility, now to be fair, he closed out well on the 3-pointer for Dylan Brooks. Like, that was more of a great shot than anything else. But the stuff with Booker, Jordan Goodwin, like, he just doesn't have the physicality, like the timing, like
he is getting worn down too, Swiper. Don't leave that part out.
Yeah, but remember, the first and Mars, you weren't here obviously because you're on sabbatical with the Buddhist monks. But remember, there was a 5-week period where he was basically scoring at like 33 on like crazy efficiency, and he was going nuts. Mm-hmm. But the last 2.5 weeks since the competition has picked up, more offense, more defensive responsibility, his numbers have started trending down. And in particular, his defense has been taken apart a little bit more as well. So I think it's a collection of things. I think Shea just had an unprecedented guard start for the season. And then now the season has kind of shifted a little bit. And I think he's just more tired on the defensive end. And teams know we can exploit your weaknesses a little bit better now, because we know your personnel more than we did at the start of the year. So I think it's multiple things. That's why I'm saying, when Ox asked the question, or, we have to put in two-way player, I think JB's clearly been a better two-way player in terms of like defensive value. The problem is obviously SJ's still providing like, top 3 offensive value in the league right now. So I think
is Jaylen Brown doing that too?
No.
Is Jaylen Brown?
No, I don't think he's having a better offensive season than like, obviously Jokic, Luka, Shea, Giannis. I don't think he's not having better offensive season than Giannis, but he's doing
is it
really
because
well.
he shoots so many mid-range shots?
What'd you say? I can't hear you. Your mic is
because he shoots so many mid-range
no,
shots?
No, you good.
No. Actually, that's what I was going to bring up earlier. This year from mid-range, he's shooting like 71% at the rim, 49% from small, like short mid-range. Then he's shooting 52% from long mid-range this year. So no, he's having a great shooting.
That's bad?
No, that's good. No, he's upper like. That's very good.
He's cooking this shit.
Yeah, who is this?
Jaylen Brown.
Right? That boy is cooking right now.
I'm just wondering, like, especially as far as just scoring the basketball. I don't understand what is he. What more could you ask for?
Well, there's just better scores. Like I think there's people having better scoring seasons than him, but it doesn't make it a bad scoring season either. Like
that's simple.
I just think that I think Phoenix in particular, of all the teams that I've watched them play, and by the way, they only one game over 500 against teams above 500.
Who?
The Oklahoma City Thunder.
What's their record?
6-5. And with that being said, yeah. So with that being said, these teams make Phoenix in particular. This
talk. Year it was not the case last year.
11 games.
They had the easiest start ever. Yeah.
Phoenix in particular. Real talk. What they do, they make a conscious effort to get and keep Shea in the action. They do everything that they can to get and keep him in action, whether it's running him off of staggered screens, because they know that they're going to switch. They'll come right back to that action. I mean, they did it yesterday with Devin Booker. They did it yesterday with Goodwin. When they get him in transition, they find him. They do everything. And the reason why they do that, I don't think because they think he's a weak defender. I just think they think he's the weakest of their defenders. So because he's the weakest of their defenders, they go after him because he's also their best bucket getter. So we want to do everything that we can to lean on him. So when we get late in games, that may be affecting him. So to Mars's point, that's why Coach Dagnall took him out. And he took him out because I'm trying to preserve him. Because I do need him down the stretch.
No. Just, I want to fix that.
8 seconds left.
No, they weren't trying to preserve. No, chill. But chill. What you're saying is incorrect because they weren't trying to preserve him. They were trying to preserve the integrity of their defense. They did not want their defense to be further compromised because they were attacking Shea. One, they didn't think Shea could get the stop. But then two, again, if they overhelp with Shea, the entire back line of their defense is now in rotation with a bunch of 3-point shooters on the court. By the way, shout out to Oso Ighodaro. Like,
yes,
he's been really good the last
that's crazy. But him and Chet were going at it like on the board. And he was winning a lot of those matchups. He had a really strong rebound at the end of the game as well. And obviously him and Jordan and Dylan Brooks and Devin Booker and Royce O'Neal, they did a phenomenal job last night.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the check throw smoke and the host go ham. You ain't never seen hoops out here did raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.